Welcome back, guys. Tonight we've got a comparison. We've got Amazon's most reviewed electric lighter versus possibly the best quality electric lighter on Amazon. It's Zippo versus Ron XS. I do apologize in advance for this being a really long video. There's a lot of content in here, so I apologize in advance for it being basically a 15-minute video. With that said, let's see how it went. Alright guys, so the first one we have is a Ron XS. To operate it, you flip a switch on. It has 3 to 5 bars, and then you literally just switch it on like that. If you do spam it like I did, it will cut it out for a second just for safety. There is a cutout on it. And there it is. But of course, we'll slide it back up and it's fine. I have been using this a lot. I've gotten probably normal length strikes, probably close to 150. These will excel at lighting candles, of course. Just want to kind of show you this and also show you the book that came with it, which will never focus probably. If you want to pause the video and look at the section you want to view. I'm going to refer to this one as the ZZ, because it says the ZZ sound is caused by the high voltage power generation. And then it says basically that it's fine. And then just some of this. As for these burn marks, yeah, just ignore that. So that is the first one. It doesn't have the actual name on it. That is the model number, but it is the Ron XS. It does have this little charger cable. One thing I want to point out that it does say is that you are not supposed to charge it for more than 3 hours, as is the instruction manual right there. So I'm betting that this does not have overcharge protection, which is very abnormal. And of course, to turn it off, just turn the switch off. It's on and off. So the pros of this one so far, which we're going to do tests in a minute, is just the simplicity. On, off, and then spam it. But just keep those things in mind. So next, I'm going to get its competitor out. So we'll be back in a second. Alright guys, so, and here is what I found on Amazon also. You can't see it because of the lighting, but it's a Zippo. And I was excited for this. Yes, it's significantly bigger. That doesn't have to stay on. To work it, you just press this back button. It turns on a blue light. One con that I have on this one, which I really don't like, there's no battery status. But press the button, turn it on, and it is significantly more it's like twice as powerful as that little one. But honestly, when it's so concentrated like that, out of all the testing I've done so far, just playing with it, I haven't seen a need to have extra power. But as for this one, so just want to get that out. Plus has a charger cable. Just for the instructions, get this to focus real quick. Here is the instructions on it. I'll pause it to look at it. One thing I did read on the limited warranty is that if you do anything outside of an acts of God, it will not be covered under warranty. So we have the ZZ and the acts of God. But so far, just by the fit, feel, and finish, this Zippo, as we could all guess, feels vastly superior. I do have normal sized hands for a male, and triggering this thing is kind of awkward. And if you get it backwards, it doesn't do anything. And of course, you can't trigger it with that's on. Charger ports on the side. This has a 250 milliamp battery, but it doesn't say what kind it is. But I suspect it's going to be much higher quality. So I guess with that said, in 26 arcs per charge, I don't know what to measure, because I have about the same amount of work time on both of these, and I've had more than 26 strikes with this, and it's held up really nice so far. But I guess we're gonna get on to a little bit of testing, and be back in a minute. All right, guys. So I got them right here. As you can see, this one is actually doesn't look as much of a size difference, but there actually is. The head on this one is nicely bigger. For the first test, yes, some of mankind's best cigars known to exist. Swisher Sweets. So let's get this opened up. And this will be the first test because these are roughly the size of a cigarette. I hate cigarettes. I will not smoke one for review. I'll smoke a cigar. With that said, none of these cigars I've got tonight are good. And I am embarrassed to even, even buy these and smoke them. I do smoke like 1 or 2 cigars a year just because I actually do like it. But I go to an actual cigar shop and get some actual good ones. So for the first cigar of Swisher Sweets, as long as I smoke one of these. Okay, it's this end. We're going to do the Ron XS and see how it does. No, I'm going to turn it on. Voice is difficult. Okay, it's halfway lit. We're not off to a good start. And it's out. So I'm not going to count that as a good score. On to the next one. If it fails at these, I've got a big one coming up. It definitely isn't going to work. But let's try the Zippo because it does have a little bit bigger head on it. So, cheers. Oh, wow. Way better. Yeah, that's way better. Most of that is lit. I would say these two are not going to do very well. For lighting up cigars, cigarettes, and definitely not a full size. This is not a full size cigar. If you know anything about cigars, they are normally a little bit bigger, but I was at the gas station tonight. This is a White Owl. It's a white grape cigar. I'm already going to tell you now, it's not going to be good. Oh, I got to get a cigar cutter. We'll be back in a second. All right, got that cut. So, we'll try the small one. I don't really have any hope, but let's give it a try. I'm going to use the camera, so bear with the awkward angle you're about to see. This is so hard to do. Alright guys, as you can tell, that's not going to work. Let's try the bigger Zippo. Obviously they do make lighters that are more suited for this, but that's not what we're here to see. So let's try a big Zippo. I think this is going to do alright. I'm actually trying to suck the actual jet, whatever you call that, the strike of lightning, I'm going to call it, into it, because you actually can blow it around just a little bit. But let's see what the Zippo does. It did worse than the Ron XS did. So as to me, like I kind of suspected, these are not going to be good for smoking cigarettes or cigars. And quite frankly, who would carry this in their pocket? I guess with that said, that's going to be my first test with the electric lighters. So we're going to move on to the next test. All right, guys. So for the second test, just so anyone's not expecting it, I'm not going to be lighting any candles in this video. Literally every lighter video in existence shows someone lighting a candle. If you're not sure if these will light a candle, they're going to light it all day long. The next test is when you take these outside and they get wet. Say you drop in a puddle or you drop in the swimming pool, which will probably be the end of it. Are they gonna work? So for the Ron XS, we're gonna light a paper towel on fire. As you see, it's caught on fire. Now we're gonna put it in here. That works underwater. Okay. Let's try it now. It's still working, but I just can't get the paper towel out. There it is. I got it on fire. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it caught on fire. It just took me a little bit because I was like putting it on a corner and the arc was having a hard time catching it. That was my fault. But let's try the Zippo now. So, because I had that head all the way submerged and it works. So, now for the Zippo. Let's see how it does. It's on fire. Put it in there. And it works underwater too. In other words, don't stick your hand in there when it's in there. Let's try it now. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, it was filled with water still. Okay. Okay, I'll give that a pass. Let's try it again. Okay, and it caught on fire. So I actually didn't realize these worked underwater because I did, of course, dip it in water one time to see if it would work or not, and it did. But I wanted to really try it on camera and see, so that way you guys can know that it will work. Of course, do not get these wet if you can, especially the actual frame of it and everything, because those are not waterproof. But if you ever do, give it a good blow and you'll be fine. So, on to the next test. Back in a minute. Alright guys, so before we wrap up the review, I do want to give it, as I just stated, one more test to see which one of these is better. So with that said, let's see how they held up. That was not even shy of a foot from the ceiling, and the ceilings are normal apartment ceiling heights. Alright, so I do want to reshoot this part right here because I left something very important out on the interview, so I'm cutting in. So let's see how they held up. So turning it on works just fine and works great. As for the Zippo, works just fine. The only damage it did was where the head and where the tail has a screw in it. They was already just a little bit loose. I wasn't going to worry about it, and frankly, I forgot about it. It just loosened them up a little bit more. But what I forgot to put in there was I did try to charge it to make sure, because I know that's a common complaint. They both started to charge just fine. They was full anyways because I charged them up for the review. So they held just fine charging and durability wise. So on to go and wrap up the review. So I have used these very heavily for the past week. I've lit everything on fire that I can possibly think of. Numerous times. I went through multiple charges, and as far as any longevity issues with the battery, I do not notice anything. They're both great. They both held just fine. I have wanted to reach for this one more simply because you flip the switch on and you turn it on. For this one, hit the battery and you hit that. If you mess the combination up, you're not lighting it up. And frankly, I have normal sized hands for a guy, and honestly, it's just not as ergonomic. The power difference, I did the finger test. I'm not telling you how that works. This one's definitely way more jolts in it. But realistically wise, like I stated in the review earlier, I cannot find a need to have more power when it's so concentrated. I just can't find a need for it. This one will probably last longer because it is the axe of God after all, the Zippo. But I don't see anything. Lighting fireworks, lighting things on fire, melting things, using it to cut through stuff, being how it's an arc. I can't notice any difference. And the battery life is exactly the same. Like, I cannot tell a difference using each other equally as much as I can, unscientifically of course. There's like maybe a couple strikes difference, which is, you know, literally it's nothing. It's the same, just this has more power. So, and this is twice the price. So after all this is said and done, which one would I buy? I'm going to buy the cheaper one because it does just as good of a job as this one, and it's much more ergonomic, and I have normal sized hands like I said. So I guess with this said, that has been my review of the Axe of God and the ZZ, the Zippo and the Ron XS. If I had questions for you, put in the comments. Or to review or try, put in the comments. With this said, thank you guys very much for watching. Have a good night.